Hello all, welcome back. In today's video, we'll be talking about ASME BPVC. That is the section 9. So, uh, we'll be talking about the on the top level concepts of what is there in the section 9. We will not go into the deep. So, if you know the top level concepts, you'll be able to go deep, and when you go through the section 9 in detail, you'll be able to apply it in detail. So, you should be at least knowing the top level concepts. What exactly is there? Basically, we'll understand what exactly is BPVC. So it is basically boiler and pressure vessel code. American Society of Mechanical Engineers, that is ASME, as we all know, has defined uh, a dedicated code for weld procedures. And how do we have to qualify weld, and how do we make sure that weld is safe? Basically, ASME BPVC Section 8 talks about how do we go on designing it. All the design aspects is covered in Section 8, but whereas in Section 9, it is talking about the quality of the weld. Let me just give you a quick thing to understand. Let's say we have a bad weld, which can cause a catastrophic failure or increase the downtime, and which can have a lot of, it can have a negative impact on the power plant due to the downtime. That in order to prevent that, we need to make sure that whatever the welds we produce are safe and doesn't impact any of the process. And what if it impacts the refinery and the ship? So it will have a very catastrophic effect when if it happens at the refinery, at the oil rig, or even a ship. That is why ASME BPVC Section 9 is there. It is like a global rule book which ensures that whatever the welds you have produced are strong, reliable, and most importantly, all the results are repeatable. In this video, whether you're just new to the welding, or whether you just want to know what exactly is Section 9 of a BPVC, let us go through it and let us understand what are the important terms available in it, so that you can go through in detail when you understand those terms. That is what it is. So most importantly, you should be knowing what exactly is WPS. So WPS, PQR, and WPQ. So we'll know what exactly is. First, let us understand what exactly is WPS and PQR and WPQ. So what exactly is WPS? So it is a Weld Procedure Specification. And what exactly is PQR is a Procedure Qualification Record. And WPQ is Welder Performance Qualification. So let us go and understand each of these terms. Uh, so, uh, so what exactly is WPS? So WPS is just like a recipe for a perfect weld. It is just like a recipe for a weld. Sorry. And what exactly is PQR? It is a proof that the given recipe works. And just in layman terms, WPS is like a person having a license. So yeah, so in layman terms, WPS is just like a recipe on for welding, and PQR is the proof that whatever the recipe you have used, it works. And WPQ is like having a license for a welder. So we'll go into each of these terms. So what exactly it is? WPS is a weld procedure specification. So it lays down the rules on what kind of or process of welding has to be followed, whether it may be submerged metal arc welding, SMAW, or gas tungsten arc welding, or whichever the process it may be. It also specifies the base material which has to be used, the filler material, and it also specifies the welding position and other variables like preheat temperature if preheating is required, and uh, the voltage required for welding, amperage, and the welding position. Okay, it is already being covered here. So WPS, weld procedure specification, is a document that has to be created using the guidelines specified in the ASME BPVC of Section 9. So using those guidelines, you have to prepare a recipe on for a recipe for a weld, in the sense what is the base material you can use, and for those base material what filler material can be used, and if preheating is required, what preheat temperature it has to be temperature has to be used, and also if the required voltage or the amperage, and it also clearly specifies what kind of process of welding has to be used. So using the guidelines specified in the section 9, you can create a weld procedure specification. Okay, so now let us talk about procedure qualification records. So procedure qualification record is nothing but it proves that, like I said, it is a proof that whatever the recipes we have made using the recipe, it works. So it is a proof that whatever the weld is done, it works. Like it is able to withstand the given stress. So once that welding is done, you need to perform some tests. The test is also specified. What kind of test is specified in ASME BPVC of Section 9? The test include the ultimate tensile stress, impact test, that is using the Charpy, and the bend test, tensile stress in the sense using the UTM, universal testing machine. So PQR has to be done uh, once the weld is done, and what kind of test has to be done, and whether it qualifies or not, you have to maintain that record. And using the guidelines specified in the section 9 of BPVC, you can create a procedure qualification record. So it's not like WPS is enough and PQR is enough. So both go hand in hand. So once the welding is done, like using all the process and the specifications and the variables specified in the weld procedure specification, you have to take a sample and do a test what is specified in the weld qualification record. Once it passes, which means that whatever the test, whatever the welding is done, it is safe and you can use it on the site. So and this too doesn't enoughly support uh, what kind of weld you are produced is good. So each person is having a variable. So in order to prevent that failures caused by human error, uh, there is something called as welder's performance qualification. So you need a skilled welder for it, and like I said, it is basically a license for it. So they make sure that they are able to produce consistent welding outcomes. So that is why the welder's performance qualification is required. Go to that. We'll discuss that in a little bit later. So a welder is there. He does the welding using the WPS, that is weld procedure selection, and once that is done, it undergoes weld qualification, that is the procedure qualification record, that is it undergoes whatever the weld sample is there, using that whatever the he has produced or the welder has produced using the weld procedure specification, it undergoes testing as per the PQR. So once that passes, it means that whatever the welder is there, he is qualified to do that welding specified in the WPS only. Okay. So you may have n different weld procedures for different base material and different filler material. So, but a welder should be qualified for each WPS. Okay. So that is what is uh, to create you can create your own WPS, procedure qualification record, and WPQ using the guidelines specified in the section 9 of BPVC. Okay, so going to next, so we'll be talking about some other numbers which are very much important. So we'll talk about the P numbers, group numbers, that is G numbers, and we'll talk about the F numbers, and we'll also talk about something called as A number. So ASME Section 9 has specified some of these numbers. It is all based upon the material and the filler material. So it has, so first let us go to the P number. So we have n number of ASTM materials. Okay, so each ASTM material is assigned with a P number. Okay, but it doesn't necessarily mean that for all will have the same all will have the different P number. Okay, for example in the instance you can say carbon steel, all the carbon steel irrespective of the grade whatever is there, you can have that one as a P1, and all the stainless steel irrespective of the grade or the class you can have that as P8, you can have it classified as P8. This grouping is done so that you can reduce the number of weld uh, procedure selection. In order to simplify that, it has been done. Okay, so let us talk in which you can find the P numbers in the table QW or QB of 2422. Okay, so each and every material will have their own P number, and it is not necessarily that each material must have unique P number. Like I said, carbon steel, it is having P1, and stainless steel, it is having P8. That is, you can check and you can go through this table in the latest edition in 2025. It is the table number QW or QB 422. You can see of irrespective of the grades, you will find the P number. In the same number, in the same table, QW or QB, you can find the G number for the given same material. Okay, So G number is a subset of P number, basically. So it is also done to reduce the number of WPS. That is how the international ASME people have created it. And these are for the base material. Okay. So now let us talk about the F number and the A number. So F number is the filler material number. Each and every filler material are grouped and given a film material. So it is given in the table QW432. Okay, you can go through it. For example, you can have the filler material has E7018, named has F number is 4. Similarly, you can have ER309L, F number is 6. So when you open this table, you can find for each filler material, you will have assigned F number. Based on that, you can use it. Okay. So A number is also for the filler material. Okay. So it is. So both are for the filler material. A numbers is categorized based upon the weld chemistry and the composition of the the material composition in the filler material. So A number is grouped based upon the weld metal chemistry. That is basically the composition. Okay. So that is how the E and A numbers are assigned. So let me give you a quick uh, understanding on WPS and PQR and WPQ, which I told earlier. So say a person A is qualified to do the WPS, okay, or given WPS. And since he is qualified, so that sample will undergo procedure qualification record. That is, it undergoes a test, which it passes the test. And uh, welder, since a weld say and since it passes the test, a welder will have a license WPQ, that is a weld performance qualification. He'll be obtaining it for a given WPS only, as I told earlier. So now say I have a carbon steel of P1 as the P number, and for, as I told, for stainless steel it is P8. I have I have another carbon steel material which is also a P1. So he will be, and I have a welder B, and the WPS is made for the base material containing both carbon material and the given filler material. And so uh, WPS is made that, and procedure qualification record is done, so that the given, well, whatever the procedure is done as per that, and welding is done, and it passes the test as per the PQR, so that when it passes the test, a welder B will have a license to do only P1 material welding only. So he will not be qualified to do the P8 material. Okay. So, or even he will not be even qualified to do with P1 to P8. Okay. So that is the importance of this ASME section 9. So thank you for watching my video. Please let me know if you have any other suggestions in the comment section. Thank you.